Mr. Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. Today I've got two replays to show you in the recently buffed Tier 10 German tank destroyer, the Grille 15. So if you know, on the recent update they've buffed a lot of tanks, around about 80 different tanks, or I say buffs and nerfs across the different tanks. I'm going to be doing videos and trying to get across all the buff and changes, go with like the key tanks. The first one I've got for you today is in the Grille 15, and this tank has been transformed with the buff from probably being one of the lower sort of tier 10 tank destroyers on the list of how good they are, to right up the top. This tank is very, very competitive now, and what I will do before we get into the two replays I've got to you today to show off the tank, I'm going to quickly go over what they've actually done. So they basically buffed the concealment of the tank. They buffed it on the move, when it's still, and the on fire penalty. So I won't go over the exact details of that, but what it essentially means is, with my setup, which you will see at the bottom of my screen shortly, I've got the concealment down to 263, which is fantastic because this tank is, it's a very mobile tank, the Grille. You've got a good top speed, you can get across the map very, very quickly, but you've also got this amazing concealment, which really helps the tank, and it actually kind of more suits the line, because the whole line before used to be good concealment, now this tank is too. But the other change it is made, it is removed the yawn limits. So this used to have, what yawn limits mean is, it basically used to have a semi-rotationable turret, so you could not turn the turret all the way around. Now you can turn this turret all the way around like a helicopter, and it's transformed the way you can play this tank, because you can reverse the turret all the way round, which essentially means that you can reverse up to an area and then be able to, if you do get detected, drive out that area very, very quickly. And yeah, it's just made this tank so much more flexible, and honestly, I really, really rate this tank now. So let's get on with the replays and we can see how we can get on, and you can see the changes for yourself. Okay, so here we are for the first replay then on Ellenberg. This is actually one of the first replays I had one of the first games I had in the tank since it was buffed. And I'm actually platooned with Swindle 321 here, who's playing the Leopard, which has also received a buff, which I'm quite excited about playing soon. So that stay tuned if you like what you see. Remember to like and subscribe; it does help out the channel. And also, I will be getting videos out across on the Leopard and the other tanks which had the changes. So you would have just seen my setup at the bottom of the screen. So if you need to go back, you can see the setup I'm running. But what we've got here on Ellenberg, there is no enemy artillery. There's actually no enemy light tank either, which is going to be quite helpful. And I'm just waiting to see if any tanks actually cross here at the start, so I can get some initial punishment on. It doesn't look like that's actually happened, so I'm going to push across this side to see if we can try and get any shots of tanks in the base, because Swindle's already kind of said that he'll try and spot it for me, and that'll give me an opportunity to get some potential damage, and give him some potential assistance as well. So you see we're moving up into position. You can see how quickly this tank gets across the map, and it's like so mobile, which it's always been mobile, and that's been one of the things I like the Grille. But now you've got the concealment to go with it. Now I'm setting up here to get shots in to see if anything he spots. Now one thing I should mention, which I could probably do right now, I could reverse the tank round, which maybe I should do, and then I can actually get out and escape quicker. But I haven't done, because to be honest, this was the first sort of change I had played since the buff, so I haven't quite adjusted to that. So Swindle has spotted enemy Progetto. Then I aimed pretty poorly, annoyingly, and I should have aimed for the lower plate there. And if that was more lazy on my part, I could have gotten some assistance. And unfortunately, Swindle's got into position, but he's getting shot from the tanks on the hill. It's a bit unfortunate that Progetto was there, and it's kind of spotted him in a poor, in an area where he can get shot. He's obviously trying to stay safe from the other tanks, but I think that Progetto, where he's keeping him lit here, is basically got him damaged. I do punish him, but the Progetto over peaks, and he just didn't have the hit points to survive it, which is a shame. But I think I did get a shot out. I did get 2 shots in to punish that Progetto for it. Shame I missed the first shot earlier, which I should have really hit. But but now we've kind of lost our vision on this side, and I'm not going to do the same thing Swindle did. I mean, he hasn't really made a mistake. He was, he was just trying to be aggressive, trying to spot for me. It just hasn't worked out, but I'm not going to go and do that now. I have to stay patient in my Grille, and I'm just waiting just to see if this Progetto does poke. We are 2 tanks down, so we are losing this game, but still very much in the balance at this point. Doing a few blind fires and some obvious spots just in case, because you never know. Sometimes you'll pick up some damage just at shooting stuff from the hill. But yeah, I'm just gonna wait initially to see that Progetto pulls, and then I might have to pull back and potentially go back to the base. I do get detected here. That's that Progetto, and I'm going to have to try and move back. You can see there's 2 tanks moving quite aggressively across this line, across towards our base. I'm falling back a little bit just to see if I get spotted, so I can get an initial punishment in. But this is just not going to work. So I'm getting out spotted each time I fire, because obviously when you fire, you lose concealment value. So you will lose that concealment value. You're more likely to get detected. So I'm going to have to pull back and try something different, and maybe wait for these tanks to come in, be a little bit more patient. Because looking at the mini-map, it's difficult to work out, but I think we're probably losing the 890 line at this point. And in which case, the enemy team may just try and push through towards our base, and we're going to have to play this bit more passively in order to get anything out of this. But I am going to move through while they're still alive, just to see if I can get any cross shots into the tanks which are detected on the hill, to try and help out our friendly team. So I'm making my approach across. Now, as you can see, my fantastic driving skills there, I just drove straight into a house. So yeah, when you play it, try not to drive into a house like I did, and you'll be fine. But that is just my poor driving skills. And we've got a couple of pens at the start, but it's been a very, very slow start, which can often be that on Ellenberg. And I've kind of decided that I can't just leave this other side where these tanks I know are coming behind me, this enemy Leopard. So I'm going to set up to try and get a punishment shot in. That shot I probably should have hit. I needed to aim a little bit lower. So that's a bit of a mistake. I wish I hit that shot now. And now he's crossed before I'm able to get a shot in. I am going to try and get a shot in through the Foch. He does get undetected, but thankfully we hit that shot blind, and we do at least start punishing him. And I'm now in a position where I'm just going to kind of stay roughly where I am, because I want to be able to, I need to be able to detect these tanks like this Leopard behind me in this Foch, but also be in a position to help out my team. And I'm kind of thinking, can I just go and kill this Leopard? Because it's kind of very awkward for me at the moment. I feel like if I don't remove this Leopard from the game, because you can see we're in an 8 versus 13, I feel like if I don't remove this Leopard, it's going to be too late. I'm going to lose too many numbers, and then we're going to get surrounded. So I really want to just get rid of these tanks in this area. So I'm going around to see if I can deal with this enemy Leopard before the Foch gets here. But if Foch gets detected, I should be able to put him on a one-shot here, which I do. I managed to push in. Now I'm fully expecting that Leopard to come round on me, but thankfully he's kind of gone around the other side of the castle, which is quite useful for me, because it's kind of means he's not pushing in my face, and maybe I'll get an opportunity to kill this Foch, and then we only have to deal with the Leopard and not the Foch. The Foch is moving in. I'm going to look to try and get a shot in. I don't want to miss it. I do have to eat one shot off the Foch, but I wanted to aim the shot because it's kind of crucial I killed that Leopard there. I do kill the Leopard, and now we've got this enemy Progetto here, who is on a one shot to us, but I kind of think, well, I've got this Leopard, so I need to check what hit points he's on. The Leopard has been put onto a one shot, which is helpful, but we're now into a 6 versus 11. So at this point, at this stage of the game, we're definitely up against it. The Leopard gets taken out, which is good news for us. And now I know that Leopard was dead. We know there's a Progetto, which was on a one shot to us, which is behind us. And we know, yeah, that's all what we know is on that side. And we've actually lost the other side down the 8-9 line. So again, I'm putting myself in a position so that I can at least keep vision on this Progetto, but while at the same time I do also have shots on tanks which are crossing here. Stirv's crossing, and we get a really crucial shot really into that Stirv to try and even up the numbers some way and pick up another kill, picking up our second kill. At this point we have shots on the tanks crossing, but we're also, what I keep trying to stress is on maintaining vision on the other side of the map, because if I just go straight down to 1-2 line now, we're not really going to have that vision, and then we're going to get, I don't want to get completely trapped. I don't want to give up every inch of the map until I have no choice, basically, to do so. So you can see I have shots potential at tanks which are crossed here. As enemy T10 gets spotted, he's a one-shot to us. I can actually pick up the kill here. Going to take this and confirm the kill. I do confirm the kill, but I then get shot by the Progetto, which puts me onto a 2-shot. It gets a 3rd shot in, and I just get out of there before he can finish me off. But I am now on a 1-shot against this Progetto. So this is not good news, but he's also on a 1-shot to me. So it's just going to be a case of I can't let him sneak up on me. So I lose my spot. I'm going to go and try and go round and sneak up with him and just deal with this tank quickly. But I get proxy spotted by the Progetto here. It looks like he's going to continue coming around. I'm just going to turn and wait. If he comes around this corner, I'm going to kill him before he can shoot me. Thankfully, he does do that, and he obliges. That makes my life a lot easier. We pick up the 4th kill, put us into 4,800 damage. And suddenly, although we are 1-shot, this game is now very, very winnable. It's in a 6 versus 6 situation. I obviously can't take many risks now because I'm so low on damage. It's just 1 shot. I'm going to get taken out by any of the remaining tanks if they hit me. So I've got to be careful. We are now kind of semi-backed up into a corner because I just don't have the hit points to be as risky right now. But we do have a tank destroyer, you see, just in front of us, sort of keeping some vision. And again, I'm just trying to stay patient because I know there was a tank destroyer. I think it was enemy E4, which I detected in the manic of fighting that Progetto, or I'd not say I got detected, but he got detected crossing. So I know there's an enemy E4 coming. There's also an enemy heavy tank here. We put 1 shot in. I was actually thinking I might have not got detected there. It was chancy, but obviously he's got a good crew. And now I'm just trying to hope I get out of the way. Unfortunately, the Death Star was there. Not necessarily his fault, but just trying to get out of the way so I don't get taken out. Putting this enemy heavy tank onto a 2-shot to us now if we roll well. I am going to try and get another shot into his side. We do get one in. We get quickly back down the cover. This is what I'm telling you about, you know, sort of reverse round. You know, this is what I should have done earlier. I'm reversed out so I can get back into cover very, very quickly. Because you do have 8 degrees of gun depression on this tank as well, which is quite helpful. You can see we can get 1 shot into this enemy E4, which will put him into 2-shot. We don't get detected. That puts us on just shy of 7,000 damage and 4 kills. I'd like to finish him off here if I can. I am down to only my heat shells remaining. Wasn't quite able to get that shot in. He's now into cover. I could load the HE and maybe try and splash him at this point. But I also, yeah, I don't know where the other two tank destroyers are at this point. But I'm just waiting to see if we can kill this enemy E4, get him out of this position. Maybe I can squeeze in a cupola shot there, or you know, but thankfully I don't need to. It gets taken out by the Death Star. And at this point, there's now only 2 tanks remaining, and I'm on for a good game at this point. I don't know how many hit points they are. Jaeger 100 gets spotted. We can get a nice pen in through the lower plate here, which we do, put us onto 7,500 damage, and I may actually have an opportunity here to pick up the kill if we're lucky. We're looking to try and get a shot in for lower plate, and unfortunately just gets taken, well, I mean, it gets taken out by our friendly TD. I would have liked to have picked up the kill myself, but there's only 1 tank remaining, and it is an enemy tortoise, so it's not going to go anywhere quick. At this point, I assume maybe he's still in his base. I'm going to outspot a tortoise, so I'm just going to try and push in and see if we can find him. It's now a 4v1, so I'm a lot more confident we are going to get the win. But I really would like to either pick up the damage on this tortoise or pick up the assistance. I have no idea how many hit points he is. I've never not spotted this tank all game, so I don't know where he is. At this point, I don't think he's got any kills either, so I thought, you know, maybe he could be AFK in the base for all I know. So I'm going to push over there and try and check that out. I popped my food there. That's to extend my view range. It doesn't look like he's there, and now I'm thinking he must have sort of pushed towards our base. That's my assumption based on the position of our TDs and the fact that I didn't spot him coming over that hill. So I'm going to try and push across to the base, and if he is there, hopefully catch him out, outspot him, and then pick up the damage. He has got in the cap. That has confirmed to us where he is. He's not going to be able to cap out before I get an opportunity to shoot him, which is good. And I'm also in a further position to my teammates, which should give me a good opportunity to pick up the damage from this tortoise. I'm hoping there shouldn't really be anywhere in the cap where it can stay where I won't outspot him. Obviously stationary, I'm going to lose concealment because I'm moving, but this is why I run silent driving on the crew, to sort of reduce that impact on your concealment. It's always quite nice to use. Trying to outspot him here. We do spot him. Now at this point, I should say I'm being very, very lazy. I put the shot in there, but this has almost cost me because I didn't need to do this. I could have pulled behind that building, and I didn't think he was going to turn in time. And thankfully, he's got the small baby gun, and we're sort of running our track. Like I say, this was all just laziness by myself there. I've risked dying. I didn't need to. Thankfully, I got away with it because he had a small gun, but I might have not done had he. Well, wouldn't have done had he had a big gun. But you can see we do finish off anyway with a big game in the Grille. We get 5 kills, 8,300 damage. I think sort of just shy of 2,000 assistance there, getting the high caliber and the ace tanker. But one more decent game coming up as well, so let's move on to the final replay of this video. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 on Dragon Ridge. This time there is no enemy artillery again. There is one enemy light tank, which is a Tusk, which I've got to be careful of because obviously the Grille doesn't really have any armour on the, so yeah, the Tusk can quite happily pen my turret, so I do have to be conscious of that. But I initially am just going to try and use my mobility to get to the other side. Being that there's no artillery, I'm kind of put myself in a position where if they don't contest this, where they probably will, but if they don't contest this side, I can then get shots into the heavy tanks, which have been spotted down the sort of the 6th line, sort of J6 area, as you can see. But the enemy light tank has contested this early, which is a smart play because that's going to kind of deny me using this position as effectively. I can't poke up and get cross shots into the enemy tank destroyers. So I'm going to be a little bit careful here. I do have a few tanks with me. An enemy leopard get spotted. I want to get a shot into this leopard, but what I want to do, because at this point he doesn't know I'm here. I haven't been detected. So I'm going to pull back here and wait, and just to see if he overpokes, because he's not aware of the fact that I'm in this location. And if he comes around this corner, I want to slap him and try and get a shot in. That's what happens, and we manage to get a nice roll in there, rolling for just shy of 800 damage. So we've got a good start to the game this time. There's no artillery in this as well, so when we do get detected, I don't have to worry about getting death from above. I only have to worry about what's got line of sight to me. So again, this is I want to kill this leopard, but I have got to be careful of the fact that there will likely be tanks covering these tanks, and I think this leopard's actually platooned with an enemy Death Star, so there's a good opportunity that he's probably covering him. So I'm not going to overextend. I'm going to wait though, because if he pokes here, I can get a shot in. Now I really want this bit of destructible cover to be destroyed, and then I could probably shoot this tank. But I'm waiting because I don't want to. I might be able to shoot through it and pen him, but I'm not 100% sure. Almost got caught out by that enemy Tusk there. That would have hurt. Thankfully he didn't, and he got very much punished for it. But this leopard keeps poking. If he does this again, if he pokes that high, I'm going to be ready to get a shot in, which will then put that leopard to a one-shot. But I am conscious on the other side that it does appear, at least at this point, right, we're losing over there. It's difficult to say for sure, but we're suddenly decided to lose numbers, and we're now in a 9 versus 11. The enemy Tusk though has killed himself, so I'm not sure what happened there, but that's handy for us because that's the enemy light tank removed from the game. I've decided to abandon this because I'm not getting anywhere with this leopard. I really think there's a tank covering him, and I don't want to lose all my hit points because I think I'm going to need them later on in this game. So I decided to abandon that situation and go back to see if we can help the other side, and then we can try and deal with what's behind us at a later point. But I want to try and get the damage over this side while I can, while I still have tanks left on my team. As I make approach, an enemy heavy comes up. We derp that shot. We should, in theory, get just below this ridge before we can get a shot in. That's going to help us out. He's getting shot by my friendly team. At this point, I'm prepared to actually trade a shot. I was wanting to just trade a shot. Thankfully, he misses. So I need to aim this shot, and we put one in, putting him onto a potential, well, a definite one shot to us now. But I've also got tanks closing in behind me, as you can see. And I don't want to take too long fighting this heavy tank because I'm not in a good location. If we lose to the left where I just was, they're going to have shots into me. So I'm going to have to again try and play a bit more like a traditional tank destroyer and get into a position to sort of overwatch my friendly team and see if I can help them out as they try and push them. And this is where the mobility of the Grille is just so useful, but I can just get across into these locations quickly, and that just makes you so much more flexible, as well as the concealment and the fact that you can turn your turret around. It's made this tank just a lot more flexible. That's the best way I can describe it. Enemy leopard gets detected, we get a nice shot in and we pick up our first kill of the game, eventually getting rid of that leopard, and we're still in it's a very close fight. It's 6 versus 8. There's a few one shots from the enemy team. We see an enemy Earthshaker, then an enemy, one of the new tank destroyers, a TS-60 gets spotted. We don't quite have a good shot into him, but we do have a nice shot into the enemy Earthshaker. We actually swapped to the heat shells now just because it's kind of that clutch situation where we need to get the kill, but it gets set on fire, which is a common trait to the TS-60, unfortunately. And then we try and squeeze in a very fortunate shot there, that hit onto the enemy Death Star, kind of important as well. But we are starting to go down our numbers. We're now in a 4 versus 6. I've got 3,700 damage and 2 kills, so we're having a decent game. But I'm in a good position to try and cover our team. Looking for a shot into Tortoise. I don't quite have the angle though to get the shots in, and this is it's a little bit awkward for me. I need him to try and push around into the open, and I can get some kills. At this point, I haven't been detected. I don't really want to give away 100% where I am, because at this point I'm not spotted. So they may move in the open like this Earthshaker is and give me an opportunity to get a kill. We do pick up that kill, putting us now onto our 3rd kill of the game, 4,100 damage, and we are in a 3 versus 4 situation. But we've got an opportunity to try and squeeze in the kill here. We do, putting this into a 3 versus 3. Try and get out of the way because I do get detected here, but nothing quite has line of sight on me. We have lost another tank though now, putting this into a 3 versus 2. And then this enemy Tortoise comes and he does put a shot into me. Now Tortoise obviously has great DPM, so I'm not going to sit there and stand in front of him unless I can be sure that I'm going to pen that shot. But I am now in a 1 versus 3. The other 2 tanks, one is a Grille, which is quick, which is not going to take long to get to me to help out this Tortoise. The other one is a Huntsman. Tortoise comes around, we do eat one, we put 1 shot in, but at this point I'm thinking, right, I'm in a 1 versus 3. He's put a 2nd shot into me, put me onto 900 alpha, which should be enough to survive a Grille shot unless he shoots me at HE, or unless he gets a massive high roll. I should be able to survive it. But I think my best point of play here is just to lose my spot. We still have the time on the clock on my side. We've got 8 minutes. And just get to a different location where they're not expecting me to be, because I have the mobility to get across this map. Like the Tortoise, he's not really going to get that far. The most likely thing he's going to do is try and follow me to kill me, and then if he can't find me, he's probably going to go back and sit in our base and try and cap out. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't want to sit there fighting the Tortoise. Although the Tortoise is a 1 shot, the Grille will kill me very quickly if I'm sat there trying to kill a Tortoise detected, and I can't take that. I feel like my best point is to get out of there, lose my spot, and then just hope that the Tortoise goes in the cap, and then maybe we can get in a position to shoot him or try and catch some tanks off unaware. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So at this point, the enemy team now have no idea where I am, which is what I want to happen, because they have no light tanks. We can outspot the Huntsman, we can outspot the Tortoise for sure. The Grille, it could be an iffy one. We're both in the Grille. It's going to depend on their crew and equipment they've taken, whether they've taken the camo net and whether they're moving or I'm moving, to whether I'm going to spot them. But this is why I do run silent driving on this. It's a crew perk which I do think is quite important, because it halves the amount of concealment you're going to lose for moving, because under the light tank you don't have to worry about that, because you don't lose any movement for concealment, but you do in a tank destroyer. So a tank has got in the cap, which I suspect is a Tortoise. It's just, I don't know for sure. These are all just hunches at this point, and we're going to hopefully try and outlight them. I don't know where the other 2. I don't know where I only know where 1 tank is, but at least that's useful. Like getting in the cap can be handy at times because you can bring the enemy team towards you, but it also can be a negative thing because now I know where one tank is. That gives me an opportunity though if I can kill this tank in the cap. And you can see I'm just trying to get, I want to stay as far away as I possibly can, but try and outlight them. Now it really depends exactly where they are in the cap. I didn't think there'd be that many options to hide behind, but there is these buildings here which I guess could block line of sight towards the cap. I don't want to get detected in this open area, but I'm just trying to find a way to spot what tanks is in this cap. But I'm having to get pretty close, but I do eventually spot the tortoise. Thankfully I get the shot in and get the kill. Now I've just got to get out of there. I don't have to worry about the cap anymore. We've still got just shy of 6 minutes in the cap circle, just trying to get safe before I lose that spot. And now again I want to relocate to a different location. I don't want to go too far this time because I kind of like the enemy team know where I was. If they were paying attention to the map, they know where I am. And I sort of want that to happen because I want the team to come towards me. But I also want to be in a slightly different position than where I was. And somewhere where I've got a bit of cover to stay safe. So I'm going to move to this sort of rock, which seems like a good location to be if the enemy team are going to push to where I was. Because I can poke out, get a shot, and then just sort of pull back safe behind this rock here. So I'm kind of reversing to set me up so I'm easy to get safe again, because I don't know. That Grille's my biggest concern. The enemy Huntsman, the tier 8 tank, I'm not overly concerned about. Now Huntsman does come in. Now I snapped that shot in because I didn't know where the Grille was. Kind of wish I aimed that shot though, because I would have put him onto a one shot had I hit that shot. So I'm going to have to stay a little bit patient. Like I say, my concern is not necessarily the Huntsman. My concern is the enemy Grille. I do get a shot in, but you can see there the Grille shot just come from the left of that rock. So I'm going to use the right hand side of this rock to try and get a shot in and hope that that is blocking the Grille from shooting me. Definitely don't want to poke on the left because you saw how close that tracer was to shooting and finishing me off. So that's at least my plan. Huntsman comes round and I'm just trying to squeeze in the shot. We do squeeze in the shot now, putting us into a 1 versus 1 with still 4 minutes on the clock. Now I don't know how many hit points this Grille is on. I haven't, it's not been detected for me all game. But we've brought this into a 1v1 from a 3v1 situation. We've now got 6 kills, 7,300 damage with the Devastator up for grabs. And obviously to try and win this game. So at this point, I do want to try and now lose that location and try, I got a little bit of information because I do know where the tracer came from, the Grille. And the tracer came from about A8 area. So it's probably on that ridge at sort of the A8. So my plan was to try and come round now and see if we can get into a position to, if he's not moving, the chances are he might spot me before because I'm going to lose that concealment. But I've just got to try and find him. Like I say, I can eat one shot off the Grille unless he pens me with HE. And at this point I could load the HE and try and go for the turret, but I just didn't want to risk it because I don't know the hit points of this tank. He could, for all I know, be a one shot to me as well. I'll say that information is unsure at this point. So I'm going to try and just move over. You see, I know roughly where the tank was and I'm sort of heading into an area where I can try and get shots in. You can see I've turned my gun to face where I think he's going to be, which you always want to do. You always want to have your gun facing where you think you're going to be shooting, because if he does get detected, and you want to be able to shoot as soon as possible. So we're moving around. We haven't got spotted yet. We haven't got detected. They haven't got detected. So it gives us a little bit of information. And as I come around this corner here, I'm going to slow down just in case I don't want to get caught out. And we do detect the enemy Grille. We get the first shot in. Now we are both one shots. He misses his shot. Now I know I've got the kill here. So I just need to move in. We're both on reload. But as you say, I can trade a shot right now. Should have to kill. Want to kill him before he escapes. He just leaves and we just get that shot in on the move to pick up the 7th kill and finish the game off in style. And that brings us then to the video and the Grille. So let's see how we got. We get 7 kills, 8,400 damage. The smallest bit of assistance damage. Getting the Devastator medal, the Ace Tanker and the High Caliber. So that is it for the video. Like I say, this tank I really like it, but I will be getting videos out in the other buff tanks. So if you like the content, it really would help the channel if you like and subscribe. As always, thank you so much for your support and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!